rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Council Vice President Patrick Brockway. Welcome to the 2043 regular meeting of Livonia City Council. This is a voting meeting. Minutes of this meeting will be approved at the next regular meeting scheduled to be held on Monday, July 13th. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Vice President Brockway.
Here.
Councilmember McCullough.
Here.
Councilmember McDonald.
Here.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Here.
Councilmember Persicone.
Here.
President Reed.
Here, we have 6 members present. Councilwoman Tashnik is in Alaska. All right, I will now entertain a motion for the minutes from the regular meeting of the City Council held on June 1st, 2026.
So move. Second.
Motion by McCullough, support by Brockway. Any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye, and the minutes pass 6-0. We will now move on to audience communication. The council has set aside 30 minutes for audience communication for items that are not on the agenda. You will have 3 minutes. You can come on down to. No, we just line up right at the podiums. Yep. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll try. My name is May Saba, and I'm a resident, of course, in Livonia. And I first want to thank you for all what you do for the city. And I have a problem with Easy Fiber. The other day, someone knocks at my door and say, I'm from Easy Fiber. We're going to start working on the public side of my sidewalk that belongs to the city and myself. And they said, oh, we're going to start digging there and so forth. I said, who gave you permission? They said the city of Livonia. You can ask them. So I was really bummed about that because they're going to make, I don't want their service. I don't want them to make holes even in the public side. So I called the city, I spoke to the engineer, she said, oh, we only give permits and we don't do anything else, if I remember correctly. And then it's up to the vendor, whoever it is. But that's a problem because if I didn't call or I didn't answer the door, they wouldn't have told me, they would have dug everything outside. And I was reading so many complaints about them and how they damaged the property. And then I called, the engineer told me somebody in the state. I called the state, they told me no. Called the FTC, I filed a complaint with the FTC. Even the company, the guy who gave me this, doesn't have the number, the correct address for the company. Nothing of that sort, and only like his number. And then they also referred me to call the Attorney General in Michigan. So I'm going to do that, but first I need the address of the company so I can file the complaint online. This is not acceptable in my book, and I don't want them to be digging in I don't need their service, I don't want them to digging. And I think there should be a mechanism, a process for you, the city, to tell the residents that something like this is going to happen in the city. It shouldn't be, and nowadays you don't open doors, you don't do this for safety measures. So we have to be very careful, and we have to have a process in place for better communication with us, the residents. So that's my major one. But I have others, but it's okay.
Thank you. Mr. Zlinczyk, our engineer, ma'am, Mr. Zlinczyk, right here, right next to you, right next to you. He can help you out.
Just through the chair, Council President, just real quick, did she receive a notification, a pamphlet from Easy Fiber? One of the first requirements as part of a permit is to make sure that they give pamphlets out to each resident to ensure that they're going to be working in the area. They went through the city clerk's office to get a Metro Act permit, which they are allowed to do, obviously telecommunications in the city of Livonia within our right-of-way or easements, which we give approval. Unfortunately, whatever, we give them a permit to do that work as some are aerial, some are underground. But they should have received a pamphlet to describe the fact that they are doing work in the area. If they're not, make sure they call us and let us know, because that way we can have a serious talk with Easy Fiber. The second thing, if there's concerns, then you call the Michigan Public Service Commission to have a complaint against Easy Fiber in the future, along with, again, the Attorney General, whatever. But I'd be happy to have her call the engineering department, and we can provide Easy Fiber's address. You probably go online or Google it, and I think it's in Texas, but we can provide the exact address for Easy Fiber. Again, we can't disallow a permit unless it's not within our right-of-way easements. But unfortunately, it sounds like they may not got a notification. Sometimes they blow off the door, or they put it securely on the door hanger. So if there's an issue, please contact the engineering department for further information, but feel free to file a complaint against Michigan Public Service Commission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then I'll call the office.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Mila Pershina. I am a Northville resident, but I'm here on the behalf of the local Livonia business.
Okay, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, City Council President, members of Council. I'm a founder and a president of MP Global Foundation. We focus on life skill education for children. And I'm here tonight to share the story of family. It's about resilience, about community, about upcoming opportunity for Livonia people in the city to rally behind its own. Many of you may know James Gray, the owner of Impact Mentoring Jiu-Jitsu right here on Schoolcraft Road. For years, he's dedicated his life to teaching Livonia's youth and kids discipline, respect, and resilience through martial arts. Recently, James and his family have been hit with an extraordinary wave of challenges, and following severe automotive accident, James suffered injuries that severely impacted his ability to teach and run his academy. At this time, he and his family, wife, raising 6 children, they are homeschooled. 2 are with special needs, and 2 daughters recently diagnosed with diabetes, type 1 diabetes. When the community leader like this hits a hard times, it's, I think, our responsibility to lift them up. And that is why MP Global Foundation is hosting a Punch for a Purpose, a community-free, fun family day event, a fundraiser on Saturday, July 11th from 1 to raise funds for this amazing family. And it's right at Impact Mentoring. So it's going to be a massive celebration of community featuring interactive martial arts, face painting, balloons, bounce houses, food trucks. Admission, again, is entirely free, but we are raising funds to cover families' not just medical expenses, but also purchasing the new safety mats for his academy and recovering or possibly purchasing a new vehicle for a family as well. We want to make this a big event, and therefore we need also a grateful for Livonia City help. We hope to reach out to you and see if you can, through neighborhood newsletters, social platform, actually reach out to neighbors. We are looking for sponsors, food trucks, for anyone who can support the local businesses, or maybe Livonia City can support it anyway. It's possible. Again, the business is Impact Mentoring Jiu-Jitsu Studio. It's right on Schoolcraft Road, located in Livonia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have 2 minutes, or 3 minutes.
Is the clock working?
Yep.
Okay.
It's very light, though.
Oh, yeah, because I couldn't see it when she
I'm
was
not sure
talking.
why, yeah, but it is working.
Oh, man, okay. I'm not here to litigate the Spree fiasco, but I just wanted to publicly thank everybody that reached out to me from all over the country. I got calls, emails, over 54,000 views on my reel. And some of the folks said, hey, we'll see you at Music from the Heart. Well, no, I got canned from Music from the Heart, too. So that's not happening. But that's not why I'm here. I believe the administration is running a highly controlled marketing campaign ahead of the August 4th public safety millage, and it appears public resources are being used to help carry it out. The mayor and police chief are hosting an exclusive, according to this email, invitation-only dinner to promote their narrative to a hand-picked audience. What makes this especially troubling is how the event is being funded. We are told the dinner is being paid for through a community engagement grant. Let's be clear about what that means. Community engagement grants are funded with public dollars and are intended to support transparent, accessible outreach that benefits the entire community. Turning those funds into a catering budget for a closed-door, invitation-only event is a complete end runaround taxpayer accountability. It violates the spirit of public funding and raises serious questions about priorities and transparency. Who will be attending this dinner? Participants and graduates of the Livonia Citizens Police Academy. Residents are told this program exists to foster understanding, build trust, and strengthen relationship between law enforcement and the community. Those are worthy goals. But trust is not built through carefully managed messaging. Trust is built through accountability, and accountability only survives when it is exposed to scrutiny, criticism, and open debate. By screening out critics and limiting participation to a select audience, the administration has transformed what should be a public engagement effort into a curated public relations campaign. While everyday residents are facing rising costs, a chosen group of vetted participants is treated to a private dinner, given a sanitized insider perspective, and then sent back into the community as enthusiastic advocates for department priorities, budget requests, and ballot measures. This is not civic education. It is a tax-funded echo chamber designed to generate political leverage. If the police department policies are sound, they should be able to withstand tough questions from skeptics. If the administration's millage proposal is truly necessary, it should be debated openly before all residents, not marketed through a filtered ambassador program designed to amplify one side of the discussion. Real transparency invites dissent. It does not avoid it. When public dollars are used to fund private messaging opportunities for carefully selected audiences, taxpayers have every right to ask whether they are paying for community engagement or political advocacy. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. Yep, you're up. Yep. Name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
I won't need the clock.
Okay.
Robert Malkowski, 16130 Edgewood Drive. This is the first meeting I've been to, so I don't know if this has been addressed or not, but I'm not too happy about there's a certain flag that is on Middle Belt Road, just south of Linden Road and north of 96. My concerns are for the kids that have to drive by there with their parents, and they're asking their parents. I'm sure you guys all know what the flag is. So what can be done about it, if anything? I've gone to the mayor's office twice and talked to an associate of the mayor's and saying that they have every right to fly that flag, even though it can be seen in public. So what can be done?
If we choose to respond, we will during council
Oh, I'm
comments.
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like I said, first meeting, so I
Yep,
don't know.
it's okay. We know what flag you're talking about.
I'm sure everybody does. But it's just discouraging that there's umpteen thousand cars that are going by there and that sign is, or that flag is still there. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
That,
Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Christopher Martin, Great State of Michigan. At the last council meeting, Martha spoke briefly about the budget increasing from 60 to 66%, and that was for police and fire. And I remember when it was 60%. She said that people are unaware that they think that it can just come out of the budget, the police and fire, and that the millage isn't really needed. Well, I'm one of those that think that way, because I'm going to vote the millage down for the police and fire based on the fact that when this general fund went from 60 to 66%, there wasn't one individual that stood over there that worked for the city that didn't get whatever they wanted when they asked for council. approval of whether it be a dump truck or a bulldozer or whatever it might be, an extra this or that. So I'm going to vote that down because that's the only way in my mind that the council will be accountable to some degree to reject some of these things that are asked for that come over by directors and various city employees. Next thing I want to talk about is, and I mentioned this before, but it really is worth going and looking at, and that's the pavilion over at Rotary Park. That standing seam roof that was put up there is just very poorly done. And I'm an advocate of steel roofs as compared to, in certain situations, as compared to asphalt, fiberglass, or especially wooden cedar shakes. So from the individual who put that up, okay, I don't think they really knew what they were doing. They could have looked on the computer and looked and seen how to install a standing seam roof. A couple meetings ago, John Pastor was very proud of the fact that not only was he a residential builder, I'm looking at the time.
No, I'm just making sure it's working.
Yeah,
It's my
well,
first time doing
I'll
it.
let you know when it stops. So John was very proud of the fact that not only was he a residential builder, but he was a commercial builder. Now, there's no way that John would have paid for that on his own over there if that was the work that he was given by somebody. And we shouldn't pay for that either.
That is time. Thank you, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, Denise Micah, Livonia. I too am concerned about the June 16th event at St. Mary's. This is almost like a deja vu of what happened last year with Vote No against the millage. I'm all for police and fire, but using this grant, and if they serve alcohol, grant money should not be used for alcohol either. I don't know if people have thought this through, but I've seen the correspondence, and I think it's just suspect how they're going about doing this, and I think it's not being transparent, and it's just another tactic by the administration to circumvent some of the rules, and people are watching. I mean, we were scrutinized, Vote No. Last year, people complained about our finances and everything, and we had gotten guidance from the county and everything, but got different information. But we will be looking at this because this, I don't think, is a good thing to do, and it just looks suspect. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Greg Ralco, Golf Ridge Villa. It was funny what you just said, somebody just said when that gentleman, 2 gentlemen ago, spoke, that if someone chooses to bring up the topic during discussion, it won't be brought up. I don't remember this council ever bringing up a topic after it's been mentioned by someone in the audience communication. And we would like that. We would like it because we'd like to see the open exchange between you council members and where you stand on issues and how you defend what you're standing on. I came a couple months ago and I asked a simple question. Why is the city rigorously responding to and defending their position on the appeals that have been filed by the residents against the 8 Mile and Newburgh corner? As I reminded everybody here, the city council voted 5-2 no against rezoning that corner in January of 2025. I spoke to Carter before the ZBA meeting, and I asked Carter what I didn't know anything about the ZBA, and he said, "Don't worry about the ZBA, quote unquote. They never go against what the city council rules on." And yet they did. And I think their vote was 6-1, if I'm not mistaken. And they did it under obviously dubious circumstances. So then when the city or the residents file an appeal, why don't you stand up for what it is that you voted for or voted against? We still have 5 votes against that corner. So who's telling Carter, when Carter was here, that he should rigorously defend the actions essentially of the ZBA in that appellate court or that appellate matter? All the city had to do is just say, we're not going to defend that. We're going to stand by what our city council did and said, and there would have been a judgment rendered in favor of the residents. But that didn't happen. So those matters, as we all know, are in appeal, going to appeal. There was not defensible actions on the ZBA. Everybody knows it, and they went against what you had decided when you didn't want to rezone that property. So I would like for you to discuss that in front of us. Somebody bring it up and talk about it. And where do you stand? Because it's wrong and you know it.
That is time. Any other audience communication? Okay, we will jump right into council comments. I just want to give an update on the agenda. Item number 15, the Finance and Budget report, or Finance and Budget Committee report. We're going to push that to the July meeting because Councilwoman Tashnik wants to give that report. So item number 15 is removed from the agenda. Any council? Ms. Budzinski?
In reference to public comments that was made, if the council president would mind, through the chair to the city attorney, could you talk about flags on private property, and are they protected by the First Amendment, or what is the situation surrounding that?
Yeah, 2 prongs. Generally speaking, the First Amendment applies even when we don't like the message. It doesn't just only apply to messages we like. The Supreme Court has made it clear that we can only regulate time, place, and manner of speech. We cannot regulate its content. When the first complaint came to the city, inspection brought it to my attention. I asked inspection, is there anything wrong with the manner in which this is mounted? Space, location, and all that. We can't discuss the content, but they've reported to me that there is, in terms of its location and place and manner, it's fine. The only objection people have is to its content, and the city of Livonia, as an arm of the government, is prohibited by the First Amendment of the United States to regulate against content.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then just a couple of event notices. One, Schoolcraft College is having an Experience Schoolcraft open house event on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It's a really cool event that starts at the Vista Tech Center. There'll be interactive displays, 20-minute presentations for various areas of study, manufacturing, high school dual enrollment, financial aid, career services, transfer options, guided tours, hands-on simulations at the various labs, walking tours. So just if you are thinking about going back to school, if you have a young person in your life who's thinking about it, it's a great opportunity to see the campus and learn about the services that are offered there. Also at Schoolcraft College on Saturday is the annual Pride event that they host from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's on the main campus. And then Wilson Barn has Farmers Market opening day on Saturday. Greenleaf Commission is also hosting its native plant sale at the Farmers Market from 9 to 2. So lots happening in Livonia as usual.
Thank you. Anything? Okay. Anything over here? Mr. McCullough?
Thank you. I recently made a post about some of the deficiencies at the rec center. I want to tell everybody that did follow that post that there has been a lot of history to that, and I do want to apologize for anybody that does currently have a membership. We did spend a lot of money, and I'm actively still looking to get a response on any of the condition updates. I recently rejoined, we've been members, but I recently started going in the last 3 weeks because I decided to accept a position to play ball hockey in Prague, which I'm probably going to break the rest of my body, but that is fine. And it's not the best thing when you walk in. It really isn't, especially about the money we put in there. I will tell you this on the other side of things, that the building and a lot of the amenities that, if you haven't seen them, they're beautiful. It's just these little things that keep nagging need to be addressed. And so I wanted to put a little bit context behind that post because a lot of people only see one side of it. And I wish professionally to show the rest of the iceberg, but I won't. But I'm hoping now that things will get fixed over there because membership costs money and it is an amenity to our city. And it's a place really that is incredible. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, go tour it. It's just know that we got to do better on some of the broken windows there. So thank you for the time just to explain a little bit more on my rationale on that. And hopefully those things will get fixed and everybody can enjoy the rec center. We know problems are going to arise, but some of them are chronic problems that have lasted upwards of 5 years. So that's why I made the case. Thanks.
Ms. McDonald, do you have anything?
No, not today. Thank you.
All right, so we will move right into our consent agenda. Items 1 through 12 on the consent agenda will be voted on as one item. These items were previously discussed at the study meeting that took place on June 1st, 2026, and determined to be non-controversial. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Persicone, support by McCullough. Any comments from the audience? Good evening, sir. Name and address, please. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Christopher Martin, great state of Michigan. This is in reference to number 11. It's your appointment, Council President Daniel Steele, to the ZBA. My suggestion before this individual was even discussed a couple of meetings ago was to ask Lucas McGrail to see if he had an interest, and that's because he ran for council a number of years ago with myself and Steve King. He's an architect, has a builder's license, and he's a building inspector for the city of Detroit. That guy would have fit in a lot better than the vast majority of people that have sat there for years. And so, as I mentioned the first time around on this, I don't know if he was even interested in the job, but I definitely would have offered him a job. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye, and the consent agenda passes 6-0. Item number 13, this is an update. This is Senior Citizens, Families, and Environment Committee meeting of May 20th, 2026 for the subject matter of urban environmental concerns and the subject matter of senior citizen needs and construction of the new Newburgh senior housing. Ms. McDonald.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to give an update on the committee meeting that we had back on May 20th. First off, our Senior Citizens, Families, and Environment Committee, this meeting was held on May 20th, 2026, here in the auditorium. Members that were present were myself, Carrie Budzinski, Vice Chair, and Patrick Brockway, member. Nobody was absent. Council or city officials present. Council member Brandon McCullough, Eric Goldstein, City Attorney, Madison Bergerdnes, Housing Director, Erica Smith, Government Affairs Director. Anyway, we had a discussion. First item was the urban environmental concerns, and the committee meeting commenced at 7 p.m. And a lot of items were discussed, and several audience members asked questions regarding environmental concerns. A discussion took place regarding Racer Trust and Ford Motor Transmission Plant's environmental issues. And Councilmember Budzinski offered to have law Law Department to draft a resolution for subject matter of both Racer Trust and Ford Motor Company to go to the Senior Citizens, Families, and Environmental Committee. Councilmember McCullough asked City Attorney Eric Goldstein for updates on resolutions requested by council. And the committee recommends that the Law Department to draft a resolution putting the subject matter of Racer Trust in the Senior Citizens, Families, and Environmental Committee, and for the Law Department to draft a resolution putting the subject matter of Ford Motor Transmission Plant in Senior Citizens, Families, and Environmental Committee. That item will remain in committee and is to be put on today's agenda. Second item was the discussion on the Newburgh Senior Housing, which is currently called Golden Elks. And Madison Housing Director gave an update regarding Golden Oaks Housing, noting that the following information. The cost of the project is approximately $27 million, and which will be funded through state and federal funds. It will have approximately 100 units. Currently in financing and design phase, which will take approximately about a year to complete. Construction phase, 2 years to complete, totaling 3 years for total project completion. The residents at Newburgh Village have been notified of the project and the timeline. A resident commented that residents of Silver Village and Newburgh Village do not have trash carts and leave trash outside on pickup for pickup in bags on the curb, suggesting that a shared bin would be shared within for the residents. More affordable housing was discussed, with $27 million needed to fund Golden Oaks project. Councilmember McCullough asked about the status of the funding for the project. He also asked about funding overages and options for contingency funding. And Councilmember Budzinski explained that the Housing Department is a unique and separate entity and not directly part of the city. She asked the City Attorney for an explanation on how the Housing Commission is managed. City Attorney Goldstein further clarified specifics laid out in the statute of the state of Michigan regarding housing program and housing commissions, also stating the Housing Department is not required to go to council for spending funds. Vice President Brockway asked about contact information for residents, and that information they could reach out to Madison, and that they could reach her at 734-421-6450, extension 4, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Councilmember McDonald asked about the Golden Oaks property needing tree removal cleanup. Madison indicated that there were no plans currently, but should look into it. Residents also shared examples of the following: detriment to the residents by taking down the trees, property was left a mess by a contractor, poor treatment of the residents at Newburgh Village, inability to attend Housing Commission meetings, difficulty in finding the agendas, and no oversight on the Housing Commission. There's several items, of course. If you'd like me to complete them, I can. If not, all this information is on the City Council web page under our agendas. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Budzinski?
Just as clarification, I think out of committee, it was a matter of I would be able to refer Racer Trust and the Ford Transmission Plant to Senior Citizens, Family, and Environment Committee, so it could be discussed further. I'm happy to put that motion forward.
Support.
Motion by Budzinski, support by McCullough. Any further comments on that one? Any comments from the audience?
Thank you.
This is just on the motion she just made to put the Racer Trust into that committee. So you're not commenting on that one?
No, I wanted to make a comment on the report.
Okay, we're going to vote on this motion first, and then we'll get to the audience. Thank you. Any comments from the audience on the motion to put the Racer Trust into the Senior Citizens and Family Committee? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. So that will be put into that committee. Anything further, Ms. Budzinski?
No, that was all, thank you.
Okay. Any comments from the audience on Ms. McDonald's report out? Name and address, please. You have 2 minutes.
Denise Micah, Livonia. I attended that meeting, and I'd like to just highlight a few things that we went to the budget meeting last week, and there was $1.8 million coming to that was in the budget to Silver Village. So that was in the general fund. Why is the statement that they're totally separate? I still think we need oversight. They're using state and federal money. We should be able to see what's going on there. We don't know if they're using competitive bidding. We know PRDA is not. I went to that meeting last week, so we're concerned about that. And also, how is the Housing Commission paying for the new bathroom, the ADA bathroom at the library, which is kind of far away from senior housing? So that's where all these things just don't make sense, and I'd like council to really look at that closely, because it doesn't add up. So if it's in the budget, how come they're not separate then? Some funding is, I get that, but some of it isn't. So we can't say it's 100%. And that's what we've been led to believe. But there's no transparency. And I've been to many housing meetings. And by the way, next Tuesday night, the Housing Commission meeting is at 6:30 at Newburgh Village. It's been moved because of Spree, because that road will be closed because of Spree next week. So I invite anybody to come and see for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else on this topic? Mr.
Chair?
Brockway?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, that's my time.
Your time's up. Okay.
All right. No, just in regards to the topic that was brought up for the trash bins located in Silver Village. We did get a response when we asked about trash pickup in that area from the housing director and from our government affairs director. Residents at Silver Village have multiple options for refuse. They have both curbside trash pickup and a dumpster. Currently, our lease does not permit the storage of garbage cans on residents' front porch areas. We have discussed the option of having a trash cart with several residents, and none of them were interested in that route, as the current option is easier for them to manage. There was a question that was brought up regarding, rat bait stations. Regarding the bait stations that were mentioned, these are simply for preventative maintenance. We take pest control seriously, and we want to make sure we're doing all we can to make sure residents are able to peacefully enjoy their unit. So that was a response from the housing director for the one inquiry that was brought up during that committee meeting.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Budzinski?
Yes, I just wanted to comment, our libraries obviously are important to me, and the situation going on there. CDBG funding generally, those are community development block grants that can be used for community projects. So that's a bucket of federal funding that comes to the city of Livonia, and it can be used for identified projects that meet certain criteria. So last year's funding was determined to be used for ADA compliant bathrooms at the Civic Center Library. Hopefully this year it'll be used for a new playground at Hillcrest Park in the northeast side of town. So those funds are community block grants. They're not tied to senior needs, just as a point of clarification.
Thank you. Ms. Persconi?
Thank you, Madam President. And a couple other things just to follow up on, Ms. Budzinski. With respect to the CDBG funds, that's a kind of, I'm going to just use the word subset. The Livonia Housing Commission oversees Live and Go, CDBG Grant Fund Program, that overall program, which we receive roughly $800,000, $900,000 from the federal government. With respect to, there's a budget that's created that's reviewed at commission meetings. The financials are presented monthly at those meetings. So if anyone is curious about the monies that are being spent, that is all available online. And they do have the budget and the financials every month for McNamara, which is a separate fund They have the enterprise fund for the city housing units, so Newburgh and Silver. Those financials are available, and also with CDBG grant funds, and they're all separate funds. We can't commingle monies, or I should say the Housing Commission cannot commingle. I said we, I was on the Housing Commission, but the funds cannot be commingled, and they do a very thorough job of accounting, and it's all available to be viewed. It is a very complex budgeting process because it involves federal money, state money, grant money, not grant money. So it's not simple to explain. I'm sure I'm just giving this as an oversight, but just to give people more information on it. So I would encourage you to go. The information's there, but just to kind of add on to that.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from council? One last comment on this. You have 2 minutes, please.
Yeah. Patrick talked about the recycling bin and the residents. I talked to the residents as well, and nobody wants a 90-gallon recycling bin. I don't even have a 90-gallon. Those things are awful. The majority of the city doesn't want them. So what I'm suggesting is you plan for this at the next development. You build it in with landscaping. You plan ahead where these barrels can go, where they can be hidden. You have one per building, and you use 64-gallon ones. You don't want a 90-gallon one. There's a way to do it. And if you come by my house, I can show you exactly how I did it and how it works. But to just say, no, we're not going to do this and keep throwing trash bags out and letting all the vermin go. And as far as you're right, very complicated, the funding, unbelievably complicated. That's why transparency is so important, because it's so complicated. And if you go to those meetings, you have no clue what's going on. They don't say anything. Thank you.
Madam President, Jim Bigger, Livonia, Michigan. I'm on the website for the Housing Commission. I have a password to the website. I can't get into it because it's all blocked. So the Housing Commission is the only website links that are blocked on the Livonia homepage. I don't know why, but they are. So as unfortunately people say things are available, of all the places on the Livonia website, this is the only one that is constantly unavailable to people to see. I don't know why that is. I don't understand why that is. I would love to know what the secrecy is in the Housing Commission. I understand it must be, state secrets are in there. They're buried in there. Stuff must be hidden in there that people should not see because their eyes would burn. There's got to be reasons why, why it says login failed because number of sessions failed. Username, public minutes. I put my name in, it doesn't work in there. I'm signed into the website. I don't get it. I just don't understand. This is the only spot in Livonia where I can't do that. It doesn't make sense.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 14, Economic Development Strategic Planning and Technology Committee meeting of June 3rd, 2026. Item A, the subject matter of data centers and attendant zoning related issues, and item B, the subject matter of limiting the number of gas stations and car washes within the city. Ms. Budzinski.
Hi, thank you. As noted, this meeting was held on June 3rd. Committee members were present, myself, Vice President Brockway, Councilwoman Eileen McDonnell, and also Council President Reed, City Attorney Goldstein, Assistant City Attorney Sidney Rogers, Planning Director Mark Termina, and Government Affairs Director Erica Smith. This is a slightly lengthy summary, so again, it is in Civic Clerk. I'm going to just kind of give a high-level overview so folks understand that where we're at on this. At our meeting in February, Council had directed the law department to look at doing a moratorium for both data centers and car washes. In that time, City Attorney Goldstein investigated moratoriums and how they stood up against legal challenges and asked to have a separate, an additional meeting to go over his findings and make recommendations for how council can move forward. Through his research, he found that moratoriums face legal challenges that cost municipalities money and end up with whatever is being brought as a moratorium, it gets developed through a court process anyway. And he wants to protect the city and make sure that our intentions are followed out as we want them to be. And with that in mind, he recommended that we develop a ordinance that defines and outlines the rationale of use for moratorium. His drafted language is in our packet here, and it was recommended that we move forward with that language on that count. As far as how we address the issue of data centers here in our community, he noted that moratoriums are generally used to evaluate the threat of health, safety, and wellness to the public. When we were presenting it as an option, it was to buy time for the law department to draft an ordinance. One, that was put forward as a recommendation, high level, based on the German Energy Efficiency Act, and we wanted to give the law department time to craft that. Again, Mr. Goldstein spent time to research kind of what is the best course of action moving forward, and recommends that as a first step, we make data centers a special use. That would require anyone who's looking to make a data center in Livonia have to come to council for a waiver and present, what their proposal is to us. So it was recommended by a committee member that that is the first step that we take in creating a special use ordinance for data centers. Both of those issues were put forward to go a referral to the Planning Commission directly so that they could evaluate it and we would save time. So it's my understanding that it's going directly to the Planning Commission for review. It would have a public hearing, then it would come to council, and then it would also have a public hearing before we vote on it. So we are acting as swiftly as we can on the issue of data centers, as we know that it is a concern for many in our community. As we learned more about the usage for moratoriums, it was determined that because there's already a special use requirement for gas stations and car washes in Livonia, at this time, there's no specific direction we are seeking to take on that issue, and it remains in committee. So that is an abbreviated summary of what happened at that meeting.
Thank you. Any comments from council on that one? All right, moving on to item number 15, or unfinished business. Item number 15, this is a waiver petition 2026. That wasn't a motion. Item number 15, this is a waiver petition 2026-03-02-11 submitted by Mason Rose Events, requesting waiver use approval to operate a banquet or event facility with occupancy of over 50 people at 37176 6 Mile Road, located at the northeast corner of Newburgh Road and 6 Mile Road in the southwest quarter of Section 8.
Madam Chair?
Ms. Persconi?
I'd like to offer an approving.
I'll support.
Motion by Persconi, support by McCullough. Any comments from council? Any comments from the audience?
Madam Chair.
Ms.
Just as a
Budzinski?
point of clarification, I wasn't at the study, but I did watch it, so I know that at the time you guys had discussed requiring a licensed bartender and closing at 11 o'clock. Is that included in this motion, or do we need to make
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Brzezinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. Item number 15 passes 6-0. Moving on to item number 16, this is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinance as amended, petition 2026-03-03-01, submitted by 7 Mile in Farmington Venture, LP, requesting to vacate the existing water main and scenic easements at 33500 7 Mile Road.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Budzinski, support by McDonald. Any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Just a point of information. Does this need a first read?
I believe
to
it does
clarify.
need a first read.
Motion for a first read.
There we go.
There.
I just wanted to see if Patrick would fall for it, but he did, and that's cool. I'm messing.
No, they're moved down. Oh, yes, correct, first reading, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. Who gave the first reading? Budzinski? Okay, first reading by Budzinski.
Support. for that.
Thank you. Okay, any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Okay, moving on to item number 17. This is a roll call, proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended to section 040 of Title 13, Chapter 8, Water Services Rates and Revenues to provide for changes in the water service consumption rates to become effective with the first billing on or after July 1st, 2026. A first reading was given by Councilmember Brandon McCullough on June 1st, 2026.
Madam President, I'd be happy to offer a second read.
Support.
Okay, second read by McCullough, support by Persicone, and we just jump right into vote now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Madam Clerk, or actually, any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. Item number 17 passes 6-0. Item number 18, another roll call, proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended to section 050 of Title 13, Chapter 8, Water Service Rates and Revenues to provide changes in the water service consumption rates to become effective with the first billing on or after July 1st, 2026. And the first reading was given by Councilmember Martha Tashnik on June 1st, 2026.
Madam President,
Ms. Persicone?
I'd like to offer a second read and roll call vote.
Support.
Okay. Any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. And item number 18 passes 6-0. Sorry, I messed up on my numbers because we pulled item 15. Item number 19, roll call. This is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended to section 050 of Title 13, Chapter 28, Industrial Waste Surcharge to provide for changes in the industrial waste surcharge rate to become effective with the first billing on or after July 1st, 2026. A first reading was given by Councilmember Carrie Budzinski on June 1st, 2026.
I'd like to offer a second read.
Okay, second read by Budzinski.
Support.
Support by McDonald. Comments from council? Comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. Item number 19 passes 6-0. Item number 20, roll call, proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended to section 120 of Title 13, Chapter 20, Livonia Sewage Disposal System to provide for changes to the sewer disposal and maintenance rates to become effective with the first billing on or after July 1st, 2026. A first reading was given by Council Vice President Patrick Brockway on June 1st, 2026.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Brockway?
offer a second read.
Okay.
Support.
Second read by Brockway, support by Budzinski. Any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. Item number 20 passes 6-0. Okay, last one. Item number 21, roll call. Proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended to section 130 of Title 13, Chapter 20, Livonia Sewage Disposal System to provide for changes to the special rates for designated uses to become effective with the first billing on or after July 1st, 2026. A first reading was given by Councilmember Eileen McDonald on June 1st, 2026.
Madam Chair,
Ms. McDonald?
I'd like to offer a second reading, please.
Support.
Okay, second read by McDonald, support by McCullough. Comments from council? Comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. Item number 21 passes 6-0. Moving on to new business. This is a block party request. Item number 22, a block party request from Kelly Ambrosi to be held Saturday, July 11th, 2026 from 12:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Beatrice Street between Laurie and Barclay Streets. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Kelly Ambrosi. I live on Laurie Street in Livonia.
Okay, did you want to tell us a little bit about your party?
Yeah, it's just a small bit of road. It occupies 4 driveways. It's from yield sign to yield sign. One of those driveways is mine. Just a couple hours, 4 hours. It's for my 5-year-old's birthday party, and I just want to block off the road to keep it safe for kids. I have a really small backyard, so I kind of want to occupy the side of my yard that is along Beatrice.
Okay, thank you. And just so everyone's not confused, normally our block parties do go to the study first, but this came in after our last meeting, and it's happening before our next meeting. So that is why it is on the regular agenda for the first time. Council?
I'll offer an approving.
Support. Motion by McCullough, support by Budzinski. Any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye. And item number 22 passes 6-0. Have a great party.
Thank you.
Mr. Brockway, would you like the gavel?
Sure. Okay, we have
Sorry,
item.
I have to say, it's a spree item. That's why I'm recusing myself.
Item number 23, request to approve lease agreement, Livonia Anniversary Committee, Inc., in order to lease Ford Field Park for the purpose of hosting the Livonia Spree 76.
Good evening, Council. Kaylee Reed, 35922 Ladywood Street. I'm here on behalf of the Livonia Anniversary Committee. I'm the Executive Director of the Livonia Spree, and as I'm sure you're well aware, we open next Tuesday at 4 p.m. In the past, we have never had a lease agreement with the city, but in the past, we have also never seen the type of behavior that we are seeing at carnivals and festivals in the area. I'm sure you're all familiar with teen takeovers. So this type of lease agreement kind of gives the spree the grounds to ask people to leave. If they're misbehaving, it makes it a private event, so we can put our rules into place.
Excellent. Do I have anything for the council?
Yes, I'd like to offer a motion to approve.
Support.
Okay, we got motion by Budzinski, support by Persicone. Any other comments? Any public comments? Anybody from the audience? Oh, we got one. All right. Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
Christopher Martin.
And you have
Free
2
State,
minutes.
Michigan. Thank you. Just a quick question here. Because we have this new entity now, if someone does get hurt there, does that eliminate suing the city? Because this has now become a spin-off, a separate entity. So my question would be to Mr. Goldstein over there, okay? How that would occur. Somebody gets injured and this committee can file for bankruptcy and that's the end of it? Or does the city still be involved for anyone injured over there? That's my question.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes 5-0.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, we have item number 24, acceptance of quitclaim deed secured without monetary consideration from SOAV Homes Incorporated in order to obtain the necessary road right-of-way for parcel ID number 076-01-0072-004, Scone Court, in southeast quarter of Section 19.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
So I got motion by Reed, support by McCullough. Any other council comments? Any public comments? Okay. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Councilmember McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald.
Yes.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Persicone.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye.
Vice President Brockway.
Aye. Okay, and the motion passes 6-0. Okay, and that leads us to audience communication. If you have something to say and you haven't spoken at the beginning of the meeting, you have come up, say your name, address, and you got 3 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh, three. Sorry, hold on
3
1
minutes.
second.
I'm waiting.
I hit the wrong
I'm
button.
waiting.
Okay.
Jim Bigger, Livonia, Michigan. With regards to grants, I don't know how the proposed law enforcement grant was given for the party that's going on, but my experience with state and federal grants is both exclude the use of the funds being spent for alcohol. Alcohol is an excluded expense, and I hope that the city people who are running that, being the police chief and the mayor, are not using those funds for alcohol, because if they are, that is against federal law and state law, and both would be held accountable if they were ever audited by the federal government or the state, and the city would be not looking very good if that were to happen. With regard to the question earlier about the wonderful flag that's flying on Middlebelt, I wondered what happened to the old obscenity rules that used to be here. I know you can't talk about speech, but obscenity has not gone away. The obscenity rules in the state of Michigan still outweigh what freedom of speech allows. There's the three-pronged Miller test that's out there. One of them that says, does it lack serious value? The work, when considered as a whole, completely lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. That sign certainly does not give us any value. Patently offensive. Okay, some part of the population probably doesn't find it offensive. I know there's a lot of cars that say that word and are driving around. I find that offensive, but I guess a lot of other people don't. I mean, it's one thing to say it in the conversation, but to drive around on a vehicle or have it on a shirt, I find offensive. Appeals to Puritan interest. You know, when you apply your local standards, I mean, we don't run around saying those words. You certainly don't let everybody come in here saying George Carlin, the 7 things you can't say on television around here. We don't allow that. But if I go by what I heard that you can't stop free speech, seriously, that means I can come in here and start saying every one of those words, even though they may be offensive to some people. That's my free speech. I think you have to couch it by, maybe the city could send the person a letter saying, please remove your sign, your flag. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, saying that they've had a number of complaints. I think you could start doing something like that.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Jerry Karasinski, 19488 Bainbridge Avenue. There's been a lot of discussion about the renewal of the 2 city millages, public safety and senior services and cultural, and there's been a number of people that have felt that they would like to vote those items down and rely on the city to make up the revenue by spending money that perhaps would come from other funds. I think it would be important for the city to maybe have a session or 2. I certainly would offer to do that for anybody that has questions about the various funds the city has, how that money is used, what it's authorized for, and what it's authorized not to be for. So if we were to, for example, vote down the public safety millage, that would be a loss of approximately $10 million out of a $76 million general fund. What would we do to make up for the $10 million that's lost? What city services would we not fund for next year if we decided to prioritize public safety as we have for decades? I think this is a very important conversation that we should be having as a city with more specific examples than we can't fathom what would happen without it. So thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you very much. All right, please state your name and address for the record.
Frank McDermott, Rayburn, Livonia, Michigan. Recently, Channel 7 had a news story on about the temporary ramp built to improve accessibility for people with physical disabilities. It was mentioned that the city paid $20,000 for that temporary ramp. And also an assistant engineer mentioned that a permanent fix could be made for the problem for $6,000 to $8,000. So I'm a little confused here. I'd like a clarification from someone. Did we pay $20,000 for a temporary ramp when we could have had a permanent solution to the problem for $6,000 to $8,000? Or did the assistant engineer misspeak? I would appreciate somebody providing clarification on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please state your name and address for the record.
John Pastor, 33461 Capri Court. I also, too, want to remind people that absentee ballots are coming out here very shortly. I want to encourage people to vote in favor of the millage. And remember, the police, it's police and fire. Everybody, talks about the police, which is very important to me, but we also have to remember to not forget about the firemen that are out there. Also, secondly on that ballot is also a millage for the bus for SMART. And I would encourage a no vote on that because SMART, I don't even know if we can call it SMART because they have not done anything very smart from their inception. They have, 3% only comes from the bus riders, 3% revenue. 97% of the money is done by taxpayer. SMART is also in debt over $72 million in the hole in their pension fund. That's where it's going to be coming from us. And the average bus just has 3.8 riders. Remember, in Oakland County, they had a lot of broken promises. They had about 20 different routes that they promised that they didn't fulfill on. So I want to make sure that people are aware, until SMART can actually put something together that actually works for it, then I'm behind it. I have no problem with it. But right now, they are not doing their job. And remember, our millage for our bus system will still be there. So we're going to be paying for our bus system as well as SMART, and I don't think that that's very smart. The last thing, I'm excited, that spree's coming up. You go on the internet and you hear this poor gentleman saying that his band was taken off the agenda. And I said, you know what, he was there for a long time. I was just kind of concerned about that. But then when they started asking questions, they got rid of all the bands. They're all new bands there this year. So they're getting a new group of people and stuff. So, well, I thank him for the service that he has done for the spree, but I don't appreciate when he tries to turn it political. When he sits there and cries, poor me. They took me off the spree ban because I talk at city council meetings. We all know that's BS. Just remember one thing. It just has to be said. It doesn't have to be true. Or for it to be true, it just has to be said. And that's what that gentleman loves to do, is give only half a story. So I encourage everybody to go to spree, enjoy their time, vote yes with the police and fire millage, and no on the SMART. Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much. Just go ahead and list your name and address for the record.
Sandra Raklinski, Vackery Lane, Livonia. In regards to the spree, and I understand there were some concerns with the teenagers, I was wondering if it would be a good idea to close the park like 9:30, the spree area. Then you clear everybody out of that area, and then the fireworks come on about 10:15, and it would eliminate the teenage hanging around in the spree area causing disruption. Something to consider. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any other comments from the audience? Okay. Councilor Budzinski?
Yes, just quickly, as we talked about our budget and the upcoming millage, I just want to let people know that my next coffee hour is July 11th, which I believe is before our next council meeting. Councilwoman Tashnik, who is the chair of the Budget and Finance Committee and works very closely with the administration on the upcoming budget, will be my guest. So we will be doing a deep dive of the budget, answering any questions that folks have. So please come. It's 11 a.m. at the Civic Center Library, and there'll be Looney's Baker Donuts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from council?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. We'll see you in about, what time you want?
At 8:20.
8:20. See you at 8:20.